Today in the Flab Lab, let's take a look at the new Moho Pro 13 update. Aside from fixing the way Moho reads Photoshop files, fixing a major bug that only popped up with the 0.5 update, they added a new feature called Smart Warp Layer that looks really promising. I decided to try it out on this Blob Gwen commission I did a while back. First step is to use the new masking tool to separate the figure from the background. It works okay. There are lots of little bits in the background which will make it harder to manipulate. The example they used had a flat black background, so it works best if the background has a solid color. Well, looks like I just have to go into Paint Tool SI, and separate the layers there. Not only am I separating Gwen from the background, but I'm separating her into various parts. Her belly, her back, her arm, her head and that backhand there. This will just make it easier to animate. And I can also see how Moho handles multiple smart masks. Spoiler. Not well. The program crashed multiple times when I was working on this part of the belly. After you import an image, you can just click a button and it will create a mesh outline. You can then draw inside the mesh to create posable structures inside the mesh. Don't enclose the shape, or it will make a hole in the mesh. This is a nice feature, but like with most things in Moho, it can be a little finicky. The point seems to bunch up together at certain parts, which creates an awkward topology, resulting in bad stretching effects. So if you wanted a really smooth effect, you should probably just create your own smart layer mask, like you had to before the update. It might be that Blob Gwen here is a little too complex, with all her drips that work in and out of the buildings. Although I did discover that you can create a jiggling effect if you play with the keyframe settings. If you apply noisy to the keyframes and set the scale around 5, you get this nice wobble effect. I had to do a little extra work cleaning details on the layers. I also had to create a copy of these buildings in the front. That way it hides some of the drippings, and gives the whole thing a 3D effect. While I was at it, I decided to add a shake to the camera, and make it look like a short found footage shot. Even animated a vector layer of Blob coming at the viewer. Exported the video, added some sound effects in an editor, and this is the final product. I like this new tool. It looks like it might save a lot of time while making animations with simple figures. Again, I probably chose a bad image to use. But this was a good experiment and I learned a lot of things I can use next time. In the Flab Lab.